Well, hey folks, thanks for tuning back in for another radio chat this morning, and it is morning. It's about 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. Thought I'd give another quick run of my new Tecsun PL-360. My previous video was kind of some initial thoughts on the radio. Sorry, the lighting here is not terribly good. It's a fun little radio. I think the purchase price was about $35 from Hong Kong, and with shipping that put it just a little bit north of $50. So my expectations were pretty low, which is a shame to say for anything that costs $50. But I think, as you look at it, it looks pretty cheap, pretty flimsy. Plastic is kind of light. But from a receive point of view, I think it's pretty good. So I thought this morning I would do a test here in the shack, and the shack is my basement. So I'm in a basement and just running off the external whip. The whip that's attached to the radio, which is, can't be more than 20 couple inches. And to see how I can do. Now, as I said in the last video, the one thing I really don't like about this radio is the tuning, which is done not solely, but manually by this small flywheel. It's indented, so it goes in steps. And I find that the way it tunes in steps is really unhelpful. It tunes generally at 1 kilohertz. When you're tuning it slow, if you tune it fast, it will jump faster, but it's tricky. But the feature, if it were just that, I think I would probably throw this radio in the trash. It would just be too hard to use, too hard to tune. But this easy tuning, which I kind of poo-pooed at the beginning, really saves this radio, and it makes it kind of really fun, actually. So what I've done this morning is to put it in the easy tuning mode, which is the first click of a button, and then when you press the button in easy tuning mode, it will go through the entire, whatever band you're in this case shortwave. It will go through the entire spectrum and grab any stations that it finds and put them into temporary memory. So I've done that this morning. And let's just take a little listen of what it's picked up for me. I'm starting at, I presume this is Radio Cuba, 6 megahertz. And each indentation of the tuning knob will take it to the next station that it's found. There's nothing there. Now, unfortunately, like any scanning feature, it's going to pick up its fair share of garbage, of static, and that's. And I'm also getting a lot of noise here. That might have more to do with the fact that I'm just a couple inches away from my microphone and my computer. But even this early in the morning, which is not good shortwave time, doing okay. Here's a nice strong signal coming in, 4840, and you'll see that I tuned it up and it cycled back to the beginning. So this is the first station found. WWV. So there we went through the stations that we picked up. So you see that the easy tuning is kind of nice to just let it do the job for you, and then you can cycle through the found stations. So this is not, in my estimation, not a good radio if you're doing any kind of serious DXing. I mean, for a $35 radio, you're pretty much limited to broadcast. But I think it does a good job, and it's certainly sensitive and appears to be selective enough. The one thing that I really noticed about this radio, and I haven't said much about, very significant hand capacitance. So it's not quite so noticeable on shortwave. When I get around to taking it outside and doing a medium wave quick spin with this radio, you'll see it's pretty significant hand capacitance, meaning that if you hold the radio, you pick up all kinds of stations, but if you just set it on the desk or whatever, the reception is going to be a lot less. So that's an issue, and I'll explore that a little bit more. So again, PL-360. It's a fun little toy. I'm glad it's not my only radio, but it fits in your pocket really well, and I think it has a place in my collection. And hope you enjoyed watching.